Well, say goodbye to zooming into award shows because the Billboard Music Awards was full of live performances and acceptance speeches. Drake brought his son, you guys. Look at Adonis on stage to receive his award for Artist of the Decade. But it was a bit too much for the 3-year-old because he burst into tears at the end. Probably all the commotion. Scary, right? And The Weeknd found redemption after being snubbed by the Grammys. He picked up 10 awards, including Top Artist and Top Male Artist. But everyone is talking about country singer Morgan Wallen. He won 3 trophies, including Top Country Artist and Top Country Album. But he was banned from attending the show after he was caught on camera using the N-word back in February. Okay, so I think it's important to just note that the Billboard, the way that they determine the wins is by looking at how many radio plays, looking on how many times you're on the top chart. So they're following their protocol. So he got it, whether he said something, whether he said the N-word or not. He had the top radio plays, and he had the #1 song more than any other country artist. So that's why he received the award.
It's numbers. It's all a numbers game. Yep. There's no board that gives out this award.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what, Jeff? It made me think about Riley Cooper. Riley Cooper was a wide receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles 6 or 7 years ago.
Yes.
That was at a country and western concert, Tori, and he yelled the N-word a couple times in a threatening manner at a black security guard. He was allowed to stay on the team, and he played for I think 2 or 3 more seasons before he retired or just didn't play anymore. And the reason that I think that we should honor this man's Billboard award is because the NFL honored his stats, because this is numbers. They didn't say, well, he had 55 yards receiving, but he did not honor our moral standards. Now, if this was him winning the NFL Man of the Year, we have something to talk about. But because this is unique and that is data-driven only, either we pretend that it didn't happen or we give him the award.
Tori, do you agree with that? Do you think that they should have still honored him?
I do. If it's all about numbers and math, I agree with Al. Let's not pretend we're not adults and we can't see what happens. Clearly, the fans are buying the album, buying the songs, wanting to hear the songs. But here we are at a standstill for country western music, right? This is a crossroads for them, and they chose to have a zero-tolerance policy. And at that point, they had to go against the millions of Morgan Wallen fans. So I'm proud of country western music. I'm glad that they, didn't allow him to come, but still allowed the history to be shown as to who actually won.
Especially because, Jeff, he hasn't done anything to try and redeem himself, right? So like the NAACP, the president said, let's make this an educational moment. That's something you always bring upon. You always say, make it a moment to do better.
Yes.
Well, he never met with them, never returned calls from them, never did anything to try to create momentum to evoke change or even educate himself. So for me, it's like, do you really want to change Morgan Wallen or no?
I'm 100% with you. I don't know if he tried anything or not, but just speaking in general terms, if you make a mistake like that, we need to have a road back, right? It needs to be that moment of education. If you shut it down in a public forum and the NAACP approaches you and they said, hey, listen, we want to make this wrong a right in a teaching moment, and you ignore that, that's on you.
Yes.
That's on you now. So there is a path back for people who want it.
I agree.
Yeah, and also, let's forget, there's two paths to this. You can choose to try and get redemption, and you can say, I'm not interested in redeeming myself. I kind of meant what I said.
Then suffer those consequences.
And suffer those consequences.
Exactly.
Both can be true.
Yep.
Right.